I think we're ready, Deborah. We're recording. Hello and welcome to another session of TIBS mini chats. And we were kind of joking around before we started because our mini chats go anywhere from 20 minutes to like an hour and 15 minutes. We don't put a limit on them. We just kind of let them talk. Yeah, we let them go. But today's guest has a hard stop in about an hour, so we will get it done in the allotted amount of time. So I am your host, Joan Turner. This is your co-host, Deborah Carpenter.
Hello.
Okay, and and we're just having a great time doing this. Even when we get back in the studio, I told Tara I want to continue to kind of do the mini chats too. I think that would be really awesome. So today's guest is Kerensa Ransom, okay, and I want to make sure I say her name right because I typically say it wrong, all right? And she's been a successful business professional in large corporations for many, many years. She has a bachelor's and MBA degree in order to get a better understanding of her business. However, she had a really strong desire, all right, to be of service in more deep but gratifying ways. And that slowly unfolded. She found that she, wanted to share more than just the business. She was looking, I think everyone has this kind of spiritual thing going on. As a spiritual being, she's built her own toolbox with a wide variety of modalities and techniques to support her own healing and growth. One of the most empowering tools that she found was EFT. EFT is emotional freedom technique. Okay, it uses tapping points on the upper half of the body to clear emotional issues, blockages. But we're going to let her tell you herself and maybe even get some demos in. All right, so she's very much in demand. And also, before I forget, she is offering free EFT sessions to frontline workers, their spouses, their families, all right? So that's a very cool thing. You can contact her through us, but you can also contact her through her email, which is KRAN, all right, 2590@yahoo.com. And we'll repeat it again at the end of the show. If I don't do it, just remind me because we need to do that. Okay, so everyone, help us welcome Kerensa. And she is sitting in our waiting room, and we are going to bring her right back in here. So help us welcome Kerensa Ransom. Okay, and I think I see her. Welcome.
Hello.
We're so excited that you're here with us.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you.
Oh my God. You know what? This is the second time for you because I know we had you in the studio as well. And we actually did some demos and stuff. So I kind of told people a little bit about, you have this business background, but you also have a very spiritual part of you that wanted to share on that level. So kind of give us a thumbnail, like what happened, what made you decide, give us an idea of what's going on with you, woman.
Yeah, so I've been in corporate America for a long time, but I've also been on a spiritual journey for a long time and really found it complicated to try to merge the two, which I have tried to do just from a being sense, who I am as a being. And yet the ability to share my gifts and provide an outlet for that spiritual side, be of service to others in a deeper way, really led me down a path of learning tools, different types of tools, in order to help myself heal and help myself be my best self and take sort of ownership, become empowered in my own life. And emotional freedom technique was one of the tools that had the biggest impact for me, really enabled me to step up into responsibility and accountability for my own emotional health and my own emotional growth.
So you said that you experimented with different modalities. What are some of the other modalities that you tried, and why did you end up favoring EFT? Like, why was that the better of the group?
Sure, absolutely. I think tools are wonderful just in general, and I am someone who likes to have a full toolkit. I've also used Reiki. I'm certified in Reiki, so I also do Reiki as well. I also went through an energy healing school where I learned some different modalities of energy healing, not hands-on, hands-off, but just some energy healing techniques. And I think what really worked for me with regards to emotional freedom technique is that some of my emotions were pretty powerful and intense, and balancing the meridians in the body really helped soothe the energy in ways that some of the other modalities did not. I enjoy meditation, but there are times when I'm triggered and fight or flight is kind of going on in my body. And so meditating is not going to be the right tool. It's just not going to work very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But tapping does. Tapping allows me to, you know, it can help me raise my energy, but it also helps me soothe it. And so other tools, sometimes that are a little bit more mental or require you to kind of focus the mind, if the brain, if the amygdala has shut off cortical reasoning because I'm in fight or flight, or I have some anxiety, or I'm triggered, those other tools don't work as well. Whereas emotional freedom technique allows me to work with whatever energy is showing up in my body and use the meridians as a way of helping
Okay.
process it so that it's not overwhelming me.
All right, so I'm gonna say that I think meditation has a humongous value. All right, do you
Absolutely.
think that, so it's a good, meditation is a good tool. The most powerful, successful people that I know meditate on a regular basis. Okay,
Absolutely.
so would you say that it is different from person to person? All right, because you're right, you know, if you're going through a fight or flight, to just actually sit there and meditate,
Too
that's
hard.
probably not gonna work.
Right.
Okay, so do you think that it depends on the situation and the person? Like whatever your trauma is, all right, maybe this is the better modality for that?
Try it.
Is that?
I actually, honestly, Jenny, I think they work together. I think
Oh, okay,
that
cool.
one practice doesn't replace the other. So my own personal preference is I meditate twice a day. I have a formal practice called Ziva that I subscribe to. I do it 20 minutes in the morning and 20 minutes in the late afternoon or early evening. I also do some tapping throughout the day, but I don't believe personally, for me, in an either or. It's both and more.
Perfect.
And meditation and EFT, I think, work really well together. If I sit to meditate and I'm feeling stressed, sometimes I might take a break and do some tapping to soothe that energy and then go into my meditation practice, but I don't trade them out. I think I use both.
Okay.
I use
Well,
both for sure.
from what I know of you, that's what I was thinking is the case. So that's why I brought it up, so people would know that you're not saying meditation doesn't work, but
Absolutely not.
it's something that you can do together, which is completely awesome.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Together.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so just kind of clarify for people a little bit, like what steps, like if I'm now tapping is something that I can use like right away, right? So if something triggers me, I can use it right away no matter where I am. Okay, so what are some of the steps, kind of clarify, and what are some of the steps that people would take if in fact someone is feeling anxious, because now we're kind of in this global pause type thing, and people are feeling isolated, they're flirting with depression, all of this stuff is going on. So our goal is to try to give them some tools to work with. So what are some of, you know, like from, if I'm feeling anxious, what do I do?
Right. So there are two different ways that I personally utilize emotional freedom technique. I will, most times I'll use the formal practice, which I can walk through a little mini session and kind of show you what a round would look like and share with you sort of how it looks in the more formal presentation. However, if I'm triggered and feeling a pretty strong emotion, I'm probably not going to go into a formal round. I might just choose a point, which one of them is the collarbone, which is right where the two bony, the bony tops of the collarbone is, down about an inch below that. And then I might just tap right there. It's a pretty strong meridian and really helps kind of balance energy out. So I might not do a formal full round of EFT. I might just start using a point. I might use the karate chop, which is another point. Sometimes that just helps me. And in the center of right around here, right in the center. That's the thymus point, which is also an extremely powerful meridian. And sometimes I'll just tap that.
We're laughing because mine's bouncing back. I said it's a little fat over there. Recording.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
So I'll just sometimes just tap just on that one spot. It's pretty strong for releasing intense emotions. So the thymus tap point is one that I use as well. And that's, again, if my emotions are triggered and the anxiety is already running. If it's just kind of really low and I'm like, ooh, I'm having some discomfort, I'm not feeling right, then I might do the formal round. But if something happens, I read a piece of news.
Okay.
And then I'll just start tapping.
The question that every single person is going to ask who watches this is, how do we know where the centers are and how to tap, like which center? If I'm feeling anxious, how do I know to go here? Does someone need to be educated? Do you need a person helping you, a coach? Help me out here.
Just do it.
But how do they know where to go?
She's just showing.
But but is it the same points no matter what you're feeling?
For the most point, yes. So here's typically what I recommend to folks is working with a practitioner always helps. It's how I got started. Even today, at times, I will still work with a practitioner when there are things that I'm working with that are strong or intense for me, because they help guide me. They are able to look at things objectively and be open to things that I might not see because I'm triggered emotionally. So always potentially really wonderful to have a practitioner get you started, do the basics with you, teach you the basics, and help you understand how to use it in your own life. There are lots of YouTube videos. There are lots of websites that have all sorts of different free resources related to emotional freedom technique. People can go out, Google search, emotional freedom technique. Two of my favorites are Dawson Church and Nick Ortner. They both have lots and lots of free resources where folks could learn more.
I've heard of them. Okay,
absolutely.
So you be our practitioner, okay? Someone's at home and now they're thinking, oh my God, I feel cut off. I feel lost here. I think I'm getting depressed. All right, you're our practitioner. What are you saying to us?
Right, so I'm going to basically start out with something called the setup, which is we do the karate chop. We make a statement 3 times. So I'm going to do that 3 times, and then I'm going to go through all of the points as I use them, and I'll say what they are.
Okay.
And then that will actually be a round.
Okay.
And let's go through the round, and then if you have questions, we can address them after.
Okay.
And if you guys want to tap with me, tap with me. Okay, all right, great. So we'll start again, karate chop. So non-dominant hand, kind of make it into a light fist, not a heavy one, just a light fist, and then take your dominant hand, and then you tap on the side. And then we'll say, even though I'm feeling isolated, and feeling separate from everyone, and a little bit down, I choose to honor, love, and accept myself. And all my feelings. Even though this stay at home has been so hard. And I miss seeing people. Especially people I really care about. I feel alone. Even with all that, I choose to honor, love, and accept myself. Even though I'm really feeling isolated. And I'm feeling down about that. I even feel sad. I miss hugs. Even with all that, I choose to honor, love, and accept myself. And all my feelings. And then we'll start through the points. So the first one is right where the eyebrow meets the nose. And you can choose either side. Now, sometimes I'll do both if I'm tapping alone, but when I'm by myself, I just do one. So, and I'm going to tilt my head a little so you can still see my lips and hear me. So all of this isolation. And we usually tap about 7 to 9 times gently on each point. And remember, gently, because we're on the face. And of course, we've all washed our hands. So we're We're practicing clean hands. And then side of the eye. I feel so alone.
I feel so alone.
I miss going out and seeing people.
You miss going out and seeing people.
I miss hugs.
Miss hugs.
I miss the people I care about.
Miss the people I care about.
Under the eye. I feel so alone.
Feel so alone.
It's hard to do this.
Hard to do this.
And it's so uncertain.
So uncertain.
Then under the nose, I just feel so isolated.
I just feel so isolated.
I feel down and sad.
I feel down and sad.
When is this going to be over?
When is this going to be over? Yeah.
And then under the bottom lip, I just feel so sad and alone.
Just feel so sad and alone.
Just want things to be normal again.
Just want things to be normal again.
I miss doing normal things.
Just doing normal things.
Being with my friends, being with my family.
Being with my friends, my family.
And then under that, the two collarbone sides like we talked about, it just feels so down
Just feel so down.
and alone.
Alone.
This is hard.
It's hard.
This is really hard.
Really hard.
I miss my family.
I miss my family.
I miss my friends.
Miss my friends.
And then under the arm, so like about an inch below the armpit on the side of the body.
We'll do the side.
There you go. So you're not banging into each other. There you go.
Sorry.
So much sadness.
So much sadness.
I feel so alone sometimes
Feel so alone sometimes.
with all of this that's going on.
All of this is going on.
Top of the head. Just going to notice all of these feelings.
Just going to notice all of these feelings.
Of course I'd feel sad.
Of course I'd feel sad.
Of course I'd feel down.
Of course I'd feel down.
It's a pandemic.
Pandemic, for crying out loud.
Of course I'm having all those feelings.
Of course I'm having all these feelings.
I choose peace.
I choose peace.
I choose peace.
Choose peace.
Then take a nice, slow, deep breath in and slowly let it out.
That was awesome. That was good. And
That was what, identifying the emotion and then identifying what you want. Right?
yeah, absolutely.
What you
And
choose.
so as people who are watching and doing that, they can put in their own words, correct?
Yes, they should absolutely put in their own words. And before they start tapping, just have, anybody who's listening, just write down on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the worst ever. And there are lots of resources in Massachusetts for anybody who needs help. So please reach out to the state of Massachusetts and get some support for phone numbers, for emotional support if you need it. But on a scale of 0 to 10, what do you think? Is it a 6? Is it a 7? And then after you do your tapping round, just kind of check in with yourself. Do I feel better? Is it feeling a little bit, like right now I feel more grounded and settled, a little bit more peaceful. Just kind of notice where you are after a tapping round.
Absolutely. And if they have time after that, even with the deep breathing, you can focus on your breathing. You could take that even further. I can see that as being a segue into a nice meditation. Yeah, very nice.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Absolutely.
And while we were talking about all your wonderful attributes, we also told people that you are offering free EFT sessions to frontline workers, spouses, family. Okay, so
absolutely.
So if people want to take you up on that, and I might as well just warn you, I put it up on Facebook, I put it up on the website, I put it on our website. Everywhere.
Excellent. Wow.
I even put it up on Twitter. I'm like, people need help.
Wonderful.
People need help. We need to help them.
Absolutely.
So,
thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You are so welcome. How can they get hold of you if they would like to do that and take you up, or even if they just have questions?
Right. Absolutely. My cell phone number, which obviously you've posted, is 978-228-0015. And my email is KRAN as in November 2590@yahoo.com. Reach out to me. Let me know what you're facing, and we'll schedule a short chat. We'll touch base and then schedule a session, because I want to be able to support the folks that are on the front lines. And
yeah, I mean, totally amazing. I keep calling them heroes. These heroes keep coming out of the walls and stuff.
Absolutely.
And we
Absolutely.
always want to mention the grocery workers, the truck drivers, the people who
Absolutely.
keep us going.
All of the
Well,
folks that are
you
doing
know,
the essential
Debbie,
services.
yeah, well,
Absolutely.
Debbie's definitely essential service. She's,
Yeah.
she's a CNA. She's out there every
Thank you for your
single day,
service.
and yeah,
Thank
and
you.
it's amazing. People that you thought were just your friends, they're heroes. What's up with that?
Wow.
That's right.
Happy to be
Just happy to
employed
be employed
under
and
those
be
circumstances, though, are
and
not good.
part of what we say TIBS, Intuitive Body and Soul, is a people first organization and community. And so one of the things that I think is really awesome is when people do find their passion and then use that passion to add value to other people's lives. I think that's how we end up making the world a better place. Plus, it makes you feel good. You know what I mean? It makes you feel
does.
good. It's a
Yeah.
win-win.
It does.
So, so we really appreciate people like Debbie, and right down to the truck drivers and so on and so forth, and
Absolutely. Greatly
people
appreciate
like
all the work
you.
they're doing.
And a lot of people, are offering their services for free. And I think that, someone said, I watched it in a movie. It was a tagline in a movie. When things are at their worst, humans are at their best. Because it was
Yes.
actually an alien who said it. Yeah. so it
What movie was that?
What movie was that?
But I like that saying. I do,
Yeah,
and
when
it's true.
things are at their worst, people are at their best.
They put aside their feelings and they just help.
They help.
Definitely.
So how has
How
this
weird are
affected?
we?
Yeah. How has this affected you personally? This whole pandemic? Is that?
Yeah. So for me, I've been blessed. I'm able to work from home. Obviously, coaching wise, I can do that from home as well, which has been wonderful. And I have been able to be of service. I have had some sessions free that I have provided complimentary to folks that are struggling. And that's been just such a joy. I think for me, I've utilized this time to go deeply internal and really look at what is my life about? Has it been about, and what do I want it to be about? And it has helped me sort of refocus and prioritize to my own inner connection to something greater than myself, and to want to live in a bigger space of service than I have before. And this time has really given me the opportunity to kind of deep dive into my own emotional healing so that I can remove some of the things that were pulling me away from maybe living in that way. And so it's been challenging on many different ways. Going to visit my mom about a month ago, I was gloved up and I was masked. We sat 12 feet apart. We brought our own plates for Easter and, just shared a cup of coffee and a piece of babka, which is Polish breakfast bread, on her back porch. We didn't go into her place. And it was hard. I wanted to hug her and she wanted to hug me, but also being able to be with one another, 12 feet away was just such a joy. And it has brought back the gratitude for those simple, small things, those things that I think in the pre-pandemic world, we're just so busy and we're running all the time, and the joy of a virtual dinner party with my mom and my stepdad on almost 2-3 times a week now, and we laugh. That renewed gratitude for small things like that has just been a tremendous blessing in my life.
We take so much for granted, don't we?
We do. We really, really do. The funny thing is, we were talking about it at one of the virtual dinner parties. We were talking about toilet paper and how much stress and anxiety we were, because we can't find it, it's sold out. And so I Googled it, and we ended up the next 20 minutes, my mom, my stepdad, who's 90, and my daughter, we were all having this virtual dinner party, and we looked at from 16th century, 17th century till now, the different ways people made toilet paper.
I love it.
Oh, ladies, it was hysterical.
To clean yourself.
It was so funny.
Don't
it was
ask
so
anybody
funny.
that goes camping.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Oh
it just,
gosh. And
it was funny. We laughed
and laughed. How did that even start? Everybody going after toilet paper.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
did
the hoarding.
that start?
Hoarding. It just kind of, one of those items, and it was funny because bread was off the shelves, and so I went to go buy a bread maker, and it was 6 times, it was 6 times the normal price. They were price gouging bread makers.
Yeah.
So my mom and I were, you know, kind of going back and forth, and she had flour shipped to me because I couldn't find flour. But like, I'm connecting with people, you know, the people close in my life in deeper ways and in new ways. And it's just, it's been
I remember on
amazing.
St. Patty's Day, I wanted to make a meal, corned beef and cabbage. I could not find potatoes. It's like, is this a potato family?
Oh, no. Potatoes.
No
You said
potatoes, any canned
potatoes.
potatoes. Oh my God,
Oh
that's
my
terrible.
goodness.
But I'm not knowing what was in the future, and I'm like, oh my
Right.
God, are we going to start hoarding potatoes now?
Potatoes now? I know, of all
But
things.
thankfully they came back, but who knew
Yes,
at
there you
that
go.
time, at that point?
I know it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I think, you know, what people can do to kind of stay focused, not feel so isolated, is to reach out to each other. And I'm finding that the visual helps. You know, people want to see you. So the visual stuff, communicate, make sure, you know, do the check-in. When we were talking to Bob Brusa, he said what the veterans do is they do a buddy check. You know, if they
yes.
The
need
code word.
the code word, like I need you to talk to me, or I want to know how you're doing. So I do a family check now. Okay.
There you
So
go.
I like that idea. I thought it was really cool. So I do
I
a
think that's a
family
wonderful
check, and
idea.
it's like,
I
hey,
love
how
it.
you doing? Are you okay? Do you need anything? So today is family check day. So we'll do that today. But I loved that people are coming up with so many ideas. And I mean, for those who are like self-employed, ask yourself, where are the opportunities here? Okay, because in every situation, there actually is opportunity. So it
Absolutely.
depends on what you are looking for, because what you look for is what you're going to find. So, you know, find something to focus on. You know, I did a couple of mini chats where I played my ukulele.
Lovely.
And that was a riot because, you know, I'm at a very modest level of accomplishment. We'll put it that way. But what I said to people is, it's not how good you play; it's the fact that you play it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I invited other people to do stuff like that, and one woman came and sang 3 songs on Facebook.
That's
and
wonderful.
all kinds of things. So, you know,
And those
focus.
those are the things
Yeah.
that are so important. I mean, as far as the audience is concerned, you know, things like meditating, anything that brings the calming and soothing effect is good to do right now. So meditation is good. The other thing is, there was a Rise Up challenge on Facebook, and they had Les Brown on, and he's an inspirational speaker, and he's hysterical. He's just funny to listen to. And he had connected with some organizations that had done some clinical research on laughter, and found that for like 4 minutes of laughter, your immune system boosts for 4 hours. So if you want to survive the pandemic and stay healthy and strong, laugh at least 8 minutes a day to get you through, you know, the 8 hours you're awake. You know, the more you laugh, the better. And those are the things. So laughter and the group texts, staying connected. I have a group of girlfriends and I that we have a group text going, and each day one of us just sends something a little silly or funny, or something, I love you, I miss you guys, or, you know, just a hello, kind of as that check-in, but a way to make each other laugh. Yeah, to remind each other to
Tell her about
laugh.
Creek Man. And
That we have a friend, an associate, that we met through our ukulele group, and he plays the accordion. And I mean, this guy has been playing the accordion all his life. I don't know if there's any separation between him and the accordion, but what he does is he goes around to nursing homes,
he
places,
serenades them outside.
places where
wow.
people can't get out, you know, over 55 communities. And
that's
he lets the
fabulous.
communities know that he's coming first. So he goes in the yard, everyone puts their windows up, and he plays the polka
Accordion
and
or whatever.
And
I think that's so cool.
And you know what? If you know him, if you ever met him, you would say, "Oh, that's exactly something he would do." You know,
That's wonderful.
He just has a very giving.
That's the next thing you need to do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go outside and play my ukulele.
There you go. Walk up and sit.
Play
Yeah,
it
there's
in front of Demoulas. A lot of
There you
people
go.
there waiting in line.
While they're waiting, yeah. There you go.
Oh, Market Basket. I say Demoulas, so I age myself.
I know. And I'll tell you, waiting in those lines is a little bit of a challenge as well.
Yes. there was a lady smoking in front of me. Now they have no smoking
Yeah.
signs.
Mhm.
Oh,
like,
good.
oh my
I'm so
goodness.
glad.
Yeah,
Wow.
I know. Did you have your mask on?
I did.
Good thing. Good
I
thing.
did. I
Good
did.
thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. So,
But she didn't, because how can you smoke with a mask?
well,
Yeah, you
that's
can't.
true. This is true.
So now I
really
know
can't.
they have no smoking signs on the wall, which
Yeah.
is good. So
Yeah.
I wasn't the only one that noticed.
Well, sure. And not only that, I mean, smoking is probably going to increase your chances of getting
Yeah.
sick,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
so even having people kind of smoking around you is probably not a good idea. So we always say the best defense is a healthy body or healthy immune system.
Mhm.
So we talk
Absolutely.
about, you know, the extra vitamins, adding zinc, so on and so
D,
forth.
extra D.
Extra
We're not
D.
out.
Absolutely. Hydrating, drink enough water.
Yes, yep. And also overlooked often is the sleep and the exercise part of it. Because when you
Absolutely.
exercise, you're breathing deeper, you're oxygenating your cells, and of course, your body recuperates much better when you're sleeping. So get some extra sleep, you know, walk
And
up
that's
and down
also
the stairs.
That's also where EFT can come in, because by tapping on these points, you're energizing the meridians and the energy flow in your body, which can help you against basic sluggishness and congestion
True.
in your energetic system. So
So-
it's very helpful.
So talk about meridians for people who don't know what those are and what an energy center in the body is. Talk about those. I'm keeping an eye on the time here, but tell us about what those are. for
Right.
people who
Yeah.
don't-
So EFT is built on the system of acupuncture, Ayurveda, which is also acupressure, which are that there are energy meridians that flow through the body, where neurological pathways flow from top to bottom and are connected to different organs and are connected to different systems. That in and of itself is probably a whole hour-long conversation by someone much better educated around it. But it basically, when we have either sickness or illness or just emotional upset or dysregulation, those meridians don't flow clearly and cleanly, and they get little blockages. And so you'll notice, you know, that sometimes folks will say, you know, I don't really feel anger. I don't get angry. We're human. We all will respond with some frustration and anger. So someone tells me that they don't feel anger, there's probably a blockage and probably some movement that needs to occur in one of the energy areas of their body in order to help them kind of free up some of that energy. Some people who have had a lot of sadness in their life or a lot of grief and say, well, I don't cry. And then I know, okay, we need to maybe take a look at that energy system and that pathway, what's happening there, because if there's been a lot of grief and you're not able to access it, then it's probably stuck somewhere. There's a block. And so that's part of the assessment, is kind of seeing not just where you have feelings that are overwhelming or uncomfortable because they're intense, but where are ones that maybe you aren't able to access, that we might want to begin to slowly unblock some of that energy so that emotion can flow, and then you can gain access to other gifts that you might be blocking in addition to that sadness. And so that's kind of the way we want to keep our energy flow moving, and tapping can help do that by
You know,
helping
it's
things
really
get
amazing
unblocked.
because even the earth has meridian lines.
Yes.
And those lines are very, very energetic.
Yes.
The Native Americans, that's where they usually will put their camps on ley lines, because they
Right.
just feel the energy coming through.
Absolutely.
So, and we're part of
Absolutely.
that too.
We are.
I have, you know, you're talking about the Indians. I have something that has nothing to do with what we're talking about, other than Indians wear their hair long because they think that they can receive their intuition better through longer hair. That's why Indians have all long
Interesting.
hair. I just know this bunch of useless information. I have all that
Native
good stuff.
Americans or
India. No, not India. Native Americans.
Native
And I
Americans.
mean, maybe they do that in India too. But supposedly that's
interesting.
why
That's
the hair
interesting.
was long, you know. So do some
I just
Googling.
thought they didn't have scissors.
They have scissors. They do cut it, right. Okay, so what kind of impact do you want to make on the world, young lady?
I want to sort of help and be of service to anybody who's struggling with anything that is sort of, they feel holding them back or weighing them down from moving forward, and being the bright light that they are in their life. You know, sometimes things happen to us, sometimes we have belief systems about who we are, and we get scared. And I want to work with folks to help them move beyond that and release the energy around that, so that they can step out into their lives and live the joy-filled, passion-filled lives that they really want to live.
That is so cool. That is absolutely
Nice.
awesome.
We all want joy.
We all want joy.
We all want joy, right?
Yeah, we all want that. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you once again. We're going to let you go, namaste, so that you can get to your next appointment. Go through your email again and telephone number one last time, and then we'll let you go. Maybe.
Okay.
No, we will.
KRAN2590@yahoo.com and 978-228-0015.
Okay.
Thank you,
so
ladies.
much.
Have a great rest of the day.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, God bless.
Okay, so we're still on. So what did you think of that? What did you think?
Good.
I think it's a good tool
Great.
for people to be able to use. And obviously you should have a practitioner, because I wouldn't know on my own. Although, you know, sometimes if I have a headache, I do
Yeah.
on my own.
Yeah. Just use your intuition.
Yep. But you should
yeah,
have a
practitioners
practitioner.
are always good.
And
for
that
anything.
way, yep, and in that way, you know where to tap, how long to tap, plus the
Well, they can
questions.
kind of walk you through your emotions too.
That's what I was going to say, the
Sometimes
questions.
we don't recognize our emotions. Why don't I feel good? I don't know. Something's off. I know I just went through that. And pulling it out, because we suppress things.
We certainly can suppress things. And we think we're always supposed to be strong. We're always supposed to have the
We're
answer.
women.
We're all, well, guys are the same way. You know, a lot of, with the world needs more feminine energy, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so yeah, it's not just a female thing. I've seen guys get very you know, like I said, they kind of flirt with the depression thing, and you know, I feel
Oh, they wouldn't admit it.
this one did. I spent a
their
little
ego.
bit of time with this gentleman.
Well, you know, that's benefit to him for admitting it, because it's hard for a
It
man.
is. It's hard for them to come out and
With
say.
emotions.
And it's also tough for everyone, I think, because we think we're supposed to be strong. We're supposed to be strong for our family. We're supposed to be strong for our kids. You know, we're supposed to be strong for everyone. So that means that you have to maintain that spirit and body balance and connection.
And to stuff it down is not good. That's when you create the blocks.
Right, stress in the body. Now, you have said it many times. I know I've said it myself, and then I was listening to one of my favorite shows is Impact Theory with Tom Bilyeu, and they were talking about that as well. You know, holding stress in the body actually creates a physical ailment if it's prolonged. I mean, there's some stress is good stress, bad stress, but if you negative stress.
Yes, and you have to learn to release it in a loving way without hurting your body through drugs or alcohol or anything like that.
Yeah.
So by tapping, exercising, just sometimes taking a walk, sometimes watching a good movie too. Just go away, veg out.
And
sometimes
and
taking a
laughter,
nap, listening to music, nice music, calms your house too. Yeah, it all works.
And we have been talking to an awful lot of people, so I hopefully I don't get everyone confused. But I think it was when we were talking with Linda, we said the best way to combat sadness or feeling down is to actually help someone else. You know, so reach out, help someone else.
Yeah, and you know, all of that,
all of that and more. And also, if you have ideas that we haven't thought about, because we've really gone the gamut in the last like 4 or 5 chats talking about what parents can do that have kids at home, what to do if you're isolated at home, or you can't visit.
And if you're a
parents.
crafty person, make things,
They're more readily available now.
well, sometimes homemade ones are nice too. You have nice, whatever you have, and share them with your neighbors, just to be a kind thing to do.
Your pants. Yeah, I have to share. Is it okay? Is it
No.
okay? I don't have a long trunk, even though I
Well, this
consider
was a few
myself
weeks
a
ago.
very, very tall person on the inside. But in my car, I said to Debbie, I said, I think I need a pillow in my car. She's like, I will make you a pillow. And I'm like, really? You'll make me a pillow? Yes. So she actually put a great deal of time and energy into it. I thought I was just going to get a pillow sewed with stuff in it, but she came several times, and I did a fitting, all right, where we put it in the car, and I sat in it.
So
and
she could see over the steering wheel.
I could see a little bit I was doing. So back and forth, and I'll tell you, she really did a good job. I ended up with this really
Then
awesome.
she wanted
wait, let me tell.
specific color.
You asked. She said, "What color do you want your pillow?" I said, "Dusty rose." So I didn't expect her to go up, but make a long story short, she had a shirt or a blouse that was dusty rose,
Sure.
which she actually tailored and cut to make my pillow. So I do have a dusty rose pillow in my cot that I sit on so I could see
My shirt.
over. It's her shirt. And then the other day, she comes over and she has like these stretchy black pants that you.
Well, somebody
cut.
gave me a mask made out of black stretchy material. So I said, I can copy that. So I'm looking in my house for something stretchy but has some sort of thickness to it. And I found my exercise pants. So they're clean. So I started cutting them up, and I made masks, black masks that go right around your ears. So I brought them over. And she says, I'm sitting on your shirt and I'm wearing your pants.
My pants on the face. I was like, wow. So talk about creativity.
Hey, it was a good laugh.
It was a good laugh. And I mean, she's very creative. Her father actually is Bob Gablowski, and he's the founder of the Great Hair Lot Association, which I sit on the board of that. And so she'd say, my father, he didn't teach us to paint. I have no creativity, but you did. You definitely have creativity.
I bought my clothes.
So absolutely be creative, okay? You don't have to make masks.
No, but your neighbors love it. I cook for my neighbors. I bring them food. A lot of them are in their 80s, and they love that. And they talk to we talk, but they appreciate just the time and the effort. And so I love to cook, so it works out.
Well, that's exactly what we were talking about. Do something that you love to do, and then use that passion, to add value to other people's lives. And they definitely appreciate it. It makes you feel good because you're able to do something you love to do, and it's benefiting them.
Right.
So, I mean, we're all connected. We're all connected in spirit. And that's why we can feel something good when something good happens to people. And when something not good happens, we feel that too. If you read in the newspaper or hear that, a child got hurt or something like that, your body goes, ooh, you can feel that.
Well, you can relate too.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't have
children.
I do not, but you still get that feel, that grab, because we are all connected. So, I mean, when you do good stuff, you want to send the good energy out. Send the good energy out, because there's enough of the other stuff going on.
Too much
stuff. Yeah. Okay. So if you have ideas that we have not thought of, let us know. We have a new email address. It's called intuitivebodyandsoul@gmail.com. You can always contact me at jonissa@comcast.net, which is JOAN as in Nancy, S as in Stephen, A@comcast.net. That's my personal email. You can call me on the phone, 978-807-7608. Our website is www.intuitivebodyandsoul.com.
Talk about where we went last week.
So you can get in touch with us through all of those venues. And what Ms. Deb is talking about over here, we had like back-to-back mini chats to do, but there was like a 3-hour lag in between.
You're hungry.
So yeah, we're like starving to death. Not that we always are hungry or anything like that. But I said to her, hey, you want to order a pizza? Whatever. She goes, no, I want clams. Let's go to the beach. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. So we ended up going to Salisbury to a place called Marky's. So we'll do a little plug for Marky's because the food was delicious.
Yep, they were all covered, masks and gloves. And they were really nice.
And Deb treated me to this clam thing. And I mean, I sat there and ate them. And it
was delicious.
Absolutely delicious.
Onion rings, friend. Oh, it was just a piece of summer came back. And then we were kind of near the ocean. We're near the ocean. And just breathing that fresh air.
It was nice.
There was no one else around. It was nice. It was nice.
There was no one else around the water, but I tell you, we were across the street from Brown's Lobster House.
They were
very busy. And then, Marky's got very busy as well. So I think obviously you couldn't go into the restaurant. So we sat in the car, we chit-chatted, we were eating and all kinds of good stuff.
We ate more than talked.
Yeah, we did. But then after we were done eating, we talked. Afterwards we were like, oh my God.
But it was so different.
It was nice.
So nice.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. We had a very good day.
Yeah.
So we'll make some plans with your friends. And as Kerensa was saying, they do virtual dinners and parties and so on and so forth. That's another way to
virtual dinners. That's hard. You want to smell the food.
And eventually you will.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah. So I mean, mid-May supposedly we'll get some new guidelines and whatnot. And I also heard May 6th, I think it is, that a lot of Massachusetts anyway.
Hairdressers, please.
Yeah. Well, now I'm going to say, I don't know about New Hampshire, but Massachusetts, if you don't have a mask or covering, fees up to $300.
Good.
Now,
good. We live too close to a very active city, Lawrence. So
and I think
you have to be careful.
And I'm sure you have to listen for yourself, but the preliminary thing that I saw was that you would have to wear a mask in any public building, like a market or a library or any place that's kind of closed in. If you're outside, I guess, and you can have enough space in between you, I guess then you don't need it. But if you're say you go to somewhere where there's a parade or there's going to be people around, then you absolutely.
More than 10. You can't have a group of more than 10.
They asked people to please adhere to 10 or less when you're going to do kind of group things.
It makes sense. It makes perfect sense.
And I was talking to one woman yesterday, and she's like, 300, that's an awful lot of money, Joan. Why do you think it's so much? And I said, well, maybe they're just trying to get across to people that they're very serious about this.
Right. Some people don't want to bother.
If we are going to open things up, okay, and things will begin to open up, the president wants the kids back in school and the teachers want to be back in school. But he also mentioned that teachers over 60 should probably stay home a little bit longer.
Wants to put the kids back to school?
Kids.
The summer?
No.
Because they're going to be out at the end of the month.
September. We're talking September. Okay, but he wants the schools. He wants the schools reopened. How long can the country stay closed?
I think school for summer is a good idea because there's no camps open.
Yeah,
what are parents going to do?
Yeah.
And it gives the kids, social.
Mm-hmm.
They need to be
right,
social. They need to run around with their friends and. But again,
they'll come out
whatever they say.
Yeah, they'll come out with new guidelines. And like I said, this woman was like, "Oh, that's a lot." I said, "Well, I think they're just trying to stress that." In order for us to start to open things up a little bit. Yeah, if we're going to do it, it's not going to be like across the board here, retirement homes of 55 communities. Those are going to have stricter distancing.
Well, governors of every state, they kind of know the state they're in.
Right.
So,
Yeah, the
No pun
governors
intended.
will.
But,
It's no, the
you know, and
state
they're smart enough to know what they can
They
open up,
should, you know, and it's like,
hopefully.
hopefully, yeah. So it won't be an across the board, just everything opens up. It will happen slowly and, you know, and so
Yeah.
I think they need to kind of get across the message that, you know, in order for us to do this and still contain and not, you know, spread the coronavirus, is that people need to take the masking seriously and whatnot. So I think that's the reason for the kind of steep fines and whatnot. So we'll wait and see.
Hey,
Wait and see.
whatever.
Yeah,
Do what they say.
we're very versatile. You know, we find ways to do what we need to do. We were talking about all the technology and stuff, and like I'm always looking for the buttons. Like, okay, what button do I push
Wonder
now?
if a
That's what we just-
smoker actually puts a
Oh.
hole.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I haven't
So-
seen that yet.
No, I haven't seen that one yet. But we're getting very resourceful with the technology, and you know, I teach art and stuff, but I'm doing that remotely.
I see
and
people with bandanas over there. They look like they're about to
Rubber bank.
yeah.
But I have seen that. Yeah,
You know, and they're trying.
yeah. Mhm,
They're trying.
mhm. So we want to send out lots of good energy to those people. I have
Peace and love and
peace
joy
and love
and all
and-
those wonderful,
yeah, yeah.
wonderful feelings.
Mhm. Okay, I think. Do you have anything you would like to add, my dear?
No, I've got to go to Market Basket and get bananas for my mother.
Good girl, good
She's gonna
girl.
drive me bananas.
That's it. But you
God
love
bless
her.
her.
But you love her.
Yeah, she's healthy and
She's
happy,
healthy. God love her. Yep.
happy and complaining. So we're normal.
So we're normal. She's
We're
got it
normal.
under control.
Yeah.
All right, then we are going to say goodbye for now, and we welcome your comments, questions, recommendations, anything else you want to tell us. Okay. We'll see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.